Hey, so I decided to make a video of I think my experience uh, in my time in my first several months in the Navy. Um, Mostly to talk about the submarine electronics computer field, and I just felt that since there's not a lot of videos that could at least inform somebody with what they can get informed. Not talking about much that are not allowed, I guess, but in hopes that someone else doesn't get into any complications or similar complications that I had. Um, for SCCF, when I was there, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't really. Submarine service is very different in the Navy from the rest of the Navy. What I mean is, it's a different service within the Navy. Like every submarines, with how it's underwater, you know, there's also a subculture along with it, and it's not like the rest of the Navy. It's very different. Um, the ratings is all a submarine counterpart to the ratings in the surface ships and the aviation ships as well. Um, and that's all really one thing that I realized. And there's even different courtesy customs, not courtesies, customs within the submarine service as well. Really, it's a volunteer service, but the issue is the recruiters and MEPs, how they treat it is, no different from any other uh, programs or uh, ratings and services in the Navy. It's very different. And it's a volunteer service. So there's an actual difference from volunteering in the Navy, because everybody wants to raise their right hand and swear in. It's voluntary, and there's a difference from that and a difference from volunteering in the Navy. And sorry, in the submarine service. Um, and no one really notices that. And for me, I was originally going in for something. I wanted to go in for something else in mind. Submarines wasn't what I had in mind either. And really, what happened was, the second day in MEPS. This is back in 2016. Uh, my actual assigned recruiter didn't show up that day. I don't know why. That day must have something else to do. I don't know. So someone else in the recruiting office came in to pick me up and was there for the rest of uh, my entry, and pretty much just misled me, misinformed me, and just talked me into signing for SCCF. Saying all that he said, like that it was only a 3-month deployment, and I'll be a sonar tech, and just making it sound like it's no different when everything that he said was not even accurate. Um, Within SCCF, you are given a rate. Okay, um, there are process to change it, but I don't know how it works. Um, and it's not every submarine that has 3 months deployments. It's just one class. The rest are like any other uh, surface ships that are not aircraft carriers. Where they'll be on deployment for 6 months. And mind you, it's small. It's very compact inside, compressed too, and in an environment that's you know dangerous and not very ideal. The living conditions are bad. So um, And I realized this later on because that program, I came across a lot of problems and complications due to my background. Being a Latino, being a Hispanic, you know, born in America, being American as well, where I have family that were originally from different countries in Central America. My mom came from Honduras to the U.S. In the 90s, and my dad came from El Salvador to the U.S. in the late 80s. And so really, that was a big issue because everything, security clearance was top secret, the highest, and I was going through problems with that. And also, like, that's the same reason why I was in that weird situation in METS, because originally someone in METS came out of the office to give me rate picks, and once it finds out that my family background isn't from the U.S., he walks back seemingly disappointed, um, since he would have to do more work, obviously, and I was only given 3 rates, and that's where that recruiter was then in that position to just you know talk me in and fool me to going into SCCF, and um, pretty much just for intentions of just for his own benefits and gain, and not to make sure I would be in the Navy without having so many complications that could have been avoided, which obviously to me I find out later. I've met people similar to my background that were in the later stages of the pipeline, that they were just on hold, security hold, just because they can't go to the A school because they need to get the top secret clearance needed. So while the case is open and they're just there, they can't go anywhere. They're just staying. they're just they're just wasting time. They're just there. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, they're not able to do nothing. They're just there. Until until they're cleared, or until that case is closed. So that's just really so frustrating, because I've seen people that are in that hold for a year, and they're just time wasted, and they're not going to get recognized by that, and getting a lesser time for active duty. No, they still got those 4 years to serve. That's just what I find out and I realized, and um, that was just something that I find was frustrating, and really just bad on recruiters, to be honest with you, because they could have done their job, and most people would have avoided that, to be honest. And it's really not an ideal service. No one wants to do it. So for me, I got disqualified um, medically, because I couldn't handle being in that situation where I felt that I was um, in a dead end, where it's like, I could just end up getting separated. I can't get out of this service and submarines, and I'm stuck. And I was really dealing with depression, and until I sought help, and they did what they could in over there in Groton, and I was disqualified for submarines, and you know I was that's where I began to go on to the path that I am now. Wasn't easy, wasn't ideal, was tiresome, but hopefully things will get better for me, because that's where I'm gonna have to find out and see if that really paid off or not. But So everybody, is those that are heard of SCCF, where they chose it and they're in delayed entry program, and you're, not uh, of a background in the U.S. Not saying that you're not a citizen, but if your family uh, aren't citizens, if your parents aren't citizens and whatnot, I really encourage you to go and speak to your recruiter and be straight up with them. You be honest with them. They're there to listen to you. They're not gonna answer your questions if you haven't asked them anything. You should go there and talk to them and be honest with them. Be straightforward with them, saying this is not what I want to do. This is what I prefer to do instead, or I prefer to do this in the Navy. Like I'm sure that I'll be doing well here, and I'll benefit the Navy more, and I'll be of more use to them. You really should speak up and talk to them. So you don't end up having to go through so many problems and delays, and ending up to do something that you never had in mind with. So that's what I wanted to talk about for this video. I hope this can be beneficial and helpful for those that are thinking of joining, and to at least have a better idea or sense, so that they can have the time that you will have in the Navy not be full of frustration or discouraging. So with that, I close up and hope you guys have a great day wherever you guys are, and peace.